Council Selwyn regular council meeting of Tuesday, July 14th, 2026 will come to order. Please respectfully acknowledge that we are on the treaty and traditional territory of the Mishi, Sagay, and Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to the First Peoples for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relation, and we honor those teachings. Please observe a moment of silence so that council, staff, and members of the public can quietly reflect on our duty to the community that we are trying to serve. Members of the public, staff, presenters, and members of council, please be advised that meetings are broadcast and recorded and made available on the internet. Is there a declaration in the interest of the general interest thereof? Councilor Poulos.
Thank you. Through you. I'm declaring an indirect pecuniary interest as it relates to agenda item number 7.4. It's natural heritage with the official plan for Peterborough County. So if it's pulled, I will have to.
Thank you very much. Our public meetings don't begin until 1:30, so we are going to carry on with our agenda. First, I will ask our clerk, have there been any questions submitted?
No questions.
Right, well, we will come back to you now to deal with our first item on the agenda, which is the Community Partnership and Development Planning Program.
Thank you. Just give me a minute to find it. Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. So this is the follow-up report related to the Community Partnership and Development Fund. At the last council meeting, there was a suggestion to develop a ranking system, which council provided some direction to staff, and we have since asked all the members to provide their ranked submissions. So the applications, there were 9 in total, ranking number 1 as being the highest ranked to number 9 being the lowest ranked. And we put those rankings in a spreadsheet and determined what those top ranked applications would be. So really, it's up to council to decide now how you want to move forward with the final recommendations for the grants to be allocated. If you were to use the rankings within the $10,000 allocation for this program, you would be selecting the top 4, which are number 1 would be Bell Rotary, who requested 5,000. Number 2, Community Care, that requested 1,500. The Royal Canadian Legion was number 3. They requested $2,258.95. And then the 4th ranked application was the Ennismore Garden Club. They had 2 applications, so this was for their first application, which was $600. And just to be clear, that was the one for the tools. So the next application below that was the Ennismore Curling Club. So unfortunately, given the amount that they're requesting, there's just not enough residual amount to fall within the 10,000. So the other option would be you could select all 4, or you could move to number 5, which is a request again from the Ennismore Garden Club. It was for their second application of $300. That would fit within the $10,000 program application. So just looking for a little bit of direction. And then the other thing, as part of the resolution, we're also suggesting a couple of amendments to the policy. So we would add this ranked system into the policy. And then it was recommended at the last meeting that we also include a question on the application so that we could reach out to the organization through their application and ask them if the project, if there was no funding, would they still proceed with it, or would they be able to proceed with it even if there was some partial funding? So it would just give council some additional information. So we're proposing that those 2 items would be added to the policy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A good way of going. Back to council. That's a great.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Senes. Yeah, I'll move the motion that we carry forward with the process that the 4 ranked, I won't read them out, Angie just read them, receive the funding with the process that we have in place for them to receive the funding. And the two amendments, obviously, that we made already to the process for next year. Question is, this is late in the year right now, but only because this is a new program. Did we decide, or can we decide now when the application should be made due next year so that these folks will be able to get their, know that they'll be getting their money earlier so they can start the work earlier? So when we talk about the deadline for next year?
Sorry, through you, we actually, the council did make a determination, and I'd have to double check, but I think it was March.
I think it was too.
Yes, I can't remember if it was March 1st or March 31st, but I can double check it while you're
Yeah.
debating.
Okay, I remember it as being March too. So that's part of the process. moving
That's
forward.
currently in the approved policy.
Great. Forward.
Yes.
Okay, great. I will move the motion.
Corrections. Back. That part. of your-
That's part of my motion, that the leftover just goes in, the residual, yeah.
Thank you, through Mayor Sennis. Yeah, I think the original motion was that it would remain there and we topped up the 10,000 the following year, just for clarity. I would second the motion with a minor amendment to include Innismore Garden Club number 2, the $300. That gets it to 96,58.95. Utilize the majority of the funding for this year. So adding that one in to the for that we're scored up.
With that,
I don't know, that it works from a monetary point of view, but it also kind of skews the process, because we've decided that they would be ranked and we would respect the rankings. So I'm not sure. Happy to hear other people's views on that. I want to respect the process.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Sennis. Yeah, I would second the motion as well, or support the motion. However, skewing the rank for the start of this whole process. Respect that they were still paying $10,000 mark. But yeah, I think that's going to cause probably future they have at this point as well. So it's supported as it stands.
For you, obviously I should be like, yeah, for that. But I believe the process, at least for this pilot, should stand. I think it could be considered, though, you could put the friendly amendment for future, that we open it up to debate of depending of the rankings, because this is the time to debate. That's what you wanted this for. Again, it does put on the political piece here, where we on the spot in person have to talk about it. So that's my only concern for this. But I do think that next year might look different and it might be a different situation. So I'm open to that idea, but not at this time. And so that gives us a year to think, if that's fair.
so you're saying you're supporting the original motion?
I support the original motion with the idea that you could provide another friendly amendment to consider this next year after we see a full pilot year.
Yeah.
Harry.
I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor Clark.
Yeah, through your worship. No, I respect the opinions of council. Obviously, I was more interested in utilizing as much of the grant money as possible this year, but I respect the thoughts around the ranking. And I think the amendments that we've already talked about, we're asking, would they, if there was money left over, we could be in a situation where we're only at $7,000 next year, because the next ranked one would be way too much money. And I wouldn't want to see, something, that amount of money left on the table when there's maybe a proposal that was ranked like 2 points behind them or something like that. So I'll remove the amendment and continue to be the second on the motion.
Sorry, just want to confirm the deadline is March 31st. Yes.
All right, so you by Council Boyko and I guess seconded by, Deputy Mayor Black. All in favor? Yeah.
Sorry, Mayor Senate, just a reminder to speak into your mic for
Oh,
everyone.
still?
Yeah, Lisa, thank
You
you.
much have to eat it. All right, we have consent items. Is there anything that anyone wants to be pulled here? Seeing none, can I have someone move them? Can I have someone move the consent items? Deputy Mayor Black, Councillor Boyko, all in favor? Terry, thank you. So we move on to other new and unfinished business, and the first item is dealing with the request to have a delegation at AMO with regards to ride funding. And I just wanted to let council know that I did receive a call from Chris Galliazza, who's the detachment commander, and he was asking why we were requesting a delegation with Solgen. I told him the reason why, and he informed me that there is indeed ride funding. It's being allocated a little differently than it was in the past. An amount will go to the Police Services Board, and then the OPP will determine who gets the money based on statistics. In the past, it used to be each individual township that would apply. Now, one township applies for the whole board, and then it's determined after the fact how that money's going to be split up. So this year, I've been told $41,877 is going to be in the pot. And I guess it's to be determined by the Police Services Board as to how it'll be allocated. So what I'm looking for is a motion to remove that delegation from AMO. There's no need to go forward with it. Councillor Cool.
I'll move it. Yeah, I mean, our understanding was that there was no money. So
That's
this
right.
is good.
Yeah. Okay, moved by Councillor Coolidge, seconded by Councillor Henry. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. All right, we have other people who want to speak. John Boyko.
Thank you. Just briefly, through you, Mayor, I want to thank everyone that was involved with the Lakeville Jazz Art and Craft Festival last weekend. Amy and Mike worked tirelessly, and all of the staff who worked very, very hard. The committee starts meeting in September and have meetings all the way until just a few weeks ago, setting it all up. There's an army of volunteers. I was there at 8 o'clock, as was Mike, and there was already an army of volunteers who was working hard, and we were tearing it all apart at 10:30 at night. It was so much work, the musicians, the food and art and craft vendors, and all who attended. It was a very successful jazz festival this year. So thank you to all involved.
Now, before us, it's being seconded by Councillor Boyko. All right, so yeah, you have the floor.
Thank you. So it's a really cool initiative, and I've only seen it taken place in large urban centers. So I'm curious what it could look like in our township. I'm putting forth this motion for us to investigate what an opportunity would look like working with Canadian Tire Jumpstart Foundation and Equip Sports Canada to install and operate free equipment stations across parks in Selwyn. A lot of the media says there's a low cost to the municipality. There's a great turnout. And I saw them in person when I went to the Harborfront FIFA Fest and during Pride. The only thing I would say is their location on a lot of the posts are actually like too high for kids or are not accessible. So there's a few features here which I think in the Selwyn context, we could really make it our own and make it a real rural pilot. So I'm putting this forward, the request for a report to come to us to see what this could look like. I mean, maybe it isn't efficient for us, but I would just like to see if it is possible.
What the cost will be. Want to speak to it? Deputy Mayor Black. Oh, before, can I go to staff here?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Through you, Madam Mayor. Just wanted to do a small update because we did do some research following the initial email, and on the really positive upside, there is money available, Trident Food, quite a few other municipalities that we could draw from right across the country for ideas. One of the things that we did realize is it's not open right now. We will keep an eye as to when the application process is open, but townships aren't eligible, so we'd have to partner with somebody. We would have to, Optimus or Bell Rotary or somebody who does represent all three villages and the cross section of Selwyn very well, and then work with them for the app, because they have to be the applicant, we are eligible.
Thank you, through your worship. My understanding of this is they provide some sports equipment and it's kept in a central location. How is that monitored? Are we thinking of having it like in the arena where it can somewhat be monitored versus just at the park where there's basically no monitoring? How does that work?
Through you. So the samples they have now are all outside, not monitored. I mean, in some of these larger centers, there's cameras everywhere. Public, private, right? So again, we are in a different situation. The way it works is it's a large container. So there's 3 levels right now. It's usually like a football, a soccer ball, and maybe a volleyball. It really depends on the location and kind of part. It wouldn't be like hockey equipment or something. Like, I mean, maybe in the future, I don't know. But right now, the pilots just have those 3. You scan the QR code with your phone. So there is a point here where if you want to use this, you need a device to use it. You sign up with the app, you provide your information. It then opens the locker for you. You take the piece and you return it at a certain time. If you don't, they have your info. So I mean, you can provide big on info, but my understanding is that Jumpstart puts the money into the equipment and then we'll replace it if needed. If somebody needed to access it and didn't have a device, they can call our partner. At least that's how the system.
That answers my question. Thank you.
So are there any other questions or comments? Call the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much. Brian. Oh, yeah. Sponge. Brian.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Mayor Sentence through you, thank you. I just wanted to give an update on the stretch of Highway County Road 1 between Shamong Road to Fowler's Corners. That's been an ongoing concern for a number of our community members. There was a meeting organized at the barn, who hosted it, and it was members of the OPP board, Peterborough County, residents, business owners, and community events, people like the Lions Club that got together, and we had the conversation. And it's been decided that over the next 4 to 6 months, granted, this happened over a month ago, our last meetings any further than what we did, so presenting it now. So over the next 4 to 6 months, Peterborough County engineering staff will undertake a technical study of that section of roadway. And this review is also going to include site-specific assessments for both craft works at the barn, pause and drain, and other businesses along there. The study is going to include entrance and visibility assessments, traffic data collection, mobile radar sign deployment, automatic traffic recorder counts, 12-hour turning movement counts of craft works at the barn entrance. We're going to have 2 data collection periods, being weekends and weekday for comparisons. We're going to do a passing zone review, as well as current review, and the potential to accelerate the elimination of passing zones in 2026. Signage review, including consideration for school bus signage as well, and a collision data review. But once the beginning of the data collection happens, there'll be consultation also with Craftworks, the bar, and Lions Club, because they host public events there, and that's a visual distraction, but also an increase on traffic flows for us. And we're going to look at implementing interim measures where applicable. Some of these changes could also have an impact, whereas the property owners will be assessed as well. They can make their entrances more visible, easier to get on and off the roads. So all of that is occurring very positively, so much so that because we do have the OPT, the open board, municipal council, so they're in consultation as well as the residents and business owners. This model is actually being used now by the OPP board throughout Southeast Ontario of how all these layers of stakeholders incorporated. Thank you for the support here. What's on the police services board for action this and is moving forward very positively. Thank you.
So this isn't working out the way I intended it to, because we're still in the middle of a council meeting, but I don't know how else I can do this, but it is under other business. So I know some people are gonna be disappointed, and I know some people will be delighted that I made the decision to turn my gavel and not seek election. I'm using my voice. I've served on the council, coming up the ranks from councillor for Smith Ford to deputy mayor, and then I should mayor. The last 3 terms I was played very much appreciated. The sum total is 20 years here in Bellwyn and 3 different in public life. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I've been blessed with great staff and councils along the way. Through that time, I've advocated for, led, and fought both for and against very many changes to numerous dimensions that have been positive for our township and area, but I haven't done it alone. This has been the help of past and present councils and our first-rate dedicated staff, both at the township and community levels. I feel I'm leaving having made final. One thing I've been most proud of is the fiscal discipline through the years that has allowed us to enjoy the lowest tax rate in Peterborough County. And I hope the future councils will be proven and continue to maintain that status. Thank you everyone for your years of support. It's been an honor to serve Salem as your mayor, and I'll continue to do so until. Still not 1:30. I think maybe we'll take a 5 minute.
Sorry, through you, we actually forgot to approve the minutes. Mayor Sunnis. I think because we're all out of sync here, so we
Okay.
could do the minutes.
All right, so I guess we have to approve the minutes of our last council meeting. Looking for a mover. Councillor, second by Councillor Clueless, all in favor, that is carried. So we still have 5 minutes before our public meeting, so we'll just take a quick break.
For who, me?
Hi there. For anyone participating online, please keep your mics and cameras off until you're requested to turn them on. Thank you.
All right, we are now dealing with an official plan amendment for part lots 5 and 6, concession 2, 394 Lily Lake Road. And before I pass it over to the planner to announce the purpose of the meeting, we also have Jennifer Kleinsmith on the line from the county of Peterborough, and Jim Whalen, who is with the county of Peterborough as well. Here, can you please announce the purpose of the meeting?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll just do the preamble announcement once here. We're actually holding 3 public meetings today. The first one being a joint public meeting for an official plan amendment under section 17 of the Planning Act for 394 Lily Lake Road. The second public meeting is for a joint public meeting as well for official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment for 724 Center Line under section 17 and 34 of the Planning Act. And we're also doing an individual public meeting for 1565 8th line under section 34 of the Planning Act for a zoning bylaw amendment. The prescribed notice of public meetings were provided via prepaid first-class mail to all residents within 120-meter radius of the property subject to the applications, as well as by sign posted on the subject lands. The notices were also available on the county and township's website with regard to the joint meetings that requiring official plan amendment, and for the one property at 1565, the notice was on the township website. The prescribed notices of public meeting were further provided by a notice published in the Peterborough Examiner for those applications requiring official plan amendment. Those notices being published through coordination by the County of Peterborough Planning Department. The notice circulation complies with the requirements of the Planning Act. If a person or public body would otherwise have the ability to appeal the decision of the Council of the County of Peterborough with regard to the official plan amendments, or the decision of the Council of Township of Selwyn with regard to the zoning bylaw amendments, but does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the respective approval authority before the approval authority gives or refuses to give approval to the amendments, the person or public body is not entitled to the appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Council of the County of Peterborough or the Council of the Township of Selwyn in respect of the applications before the respective approval authority gives or refuses to give approval to the official plan amendments or the zoning bylaw amendments, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal, unless in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. If you wish to be notified of the decision of the councils of the County of Peterborough or the Township of Selwyn in respect of the proposed amendments, you must make a written request to the County of Peterborough with regard to the official plan amendments or the Township of Selwyn with regard to the zoning bylaw amendments, providing your name and address or email address. So the application first on the agenda is 394 Lily Lake Road. This is an official plan amendment for the existing solar farm. It's to facilitate the procurement process from the Independent Electricity Systems Operator, the IESO, for the LT2 program to allow the continuation of the existing solar farm. The issue here being that our new official plan recognizes the subject property as prime agricultural. The IESO has policy not to renew or permit solar farms in prime agricultural lands. The property is currently designated as rural property. We don't know, of course, when our new official plan is going to be approved, but to avoid any the risk of that being approved and being dropped before the process for the renewal process for the solar farm through IESO occurs, we're moving forward with an official plan amendment, which will carry forward into the new official plan, recognizing the subject lands as a special policy area, being considered rural for the lifespan of the solar farm. I recommend that council support and notify the Council of the County of Peterborough that the township supports the official plan amendment. I find that the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement and conforms to the county official plan. Those are my comments. In support of the applicant, we have DM Wills here for a presentation on this file. And we also have the planner from the County of Peterborough, Jennifer Kleinsmith, will be making presentation after DM Wells. Of course, all of us will be available to take any questions from council.
Okay, thank you very much. So is Kay Steele, can you please go to the microphone? Give us your name and address and see.
It's on. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Through you, Madam Mayor, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Kate Steele. I am a junior planner with DM Wills Associates, and I am representing Peterborough Utilities for the proposed official plan amendment. Do I use that? Yeah. Okay, so the subject property is located at 394 Lily Lake Road in the Township of Selwyn, County of Peterborough. It has a lot area of 124 hectares or 307 acres and has three frontages along Lily Lake Road, Pipes Bay Road, and Phyllis Road. Just some background in like the current operations of the Lily Lake Solar Farm. So it has existed since 2011, and it is currently a 10 megawatt solar generating facility. The solar farm can provide enough energy to supply approximately 1,500 homes using stable and clean resources. And the electricity that is produced here is then sold to the Independent Electricity System Operator, also known as IESO, through a 20-year Renewable Energy Standard Offer Program contract. The purpose of the application. So essentially, the 20-year renewable energy contract with IESO is essentially coming to an end in 2031. So for PUI to keep operating, they need to apply for a new contract for up to another 20 years or so. As part of the IESO requirements, the solar farm needs to comply with all provincial and municipal planning documents, including the township official plan. As the solar farm exists today, it complies with all of the provincial and local planning policies. However, as I said, once the new county official plan comes into effect, the subject property will be redesignated agricultural, opposed to the current rural designation. As outlined in the ministerial directive, now from the Ministry of Energy and Mines and Ministry of Agricultural, Food and Agribusiness, IESO was to update their procurement policies to prohibit ground-mounted solar farms on prime agricultural land. What this did was basically made the Lily Lake Solar Farm non-compliant once the new official plan came into effect. The intent of the ministerial directive was to ensure that new renewable energy projects do not negatively impact agricultural farmland or develop on agricultural or viable agricultural land. But essentially, the official plan amendment is just to ensure that the use remains permitted once the new official plan comes into effect. Okay, so a little bit about the IESO process. To apply for a new contract with IESO, the process takes about approximately 3 years to complete, and the NCOP is anticipated to be approved within that timeframe. Overall, there are 2 streams that PUI needs to apply for. There's the medium-term contract that IESO is requiring that all existing contracts apply to if your contract is going to expire and then have to reapply for the long-term 2 program. The main difference between the 2 programs, between the medium term and the long term, is that basically the medium term is just an extension to get to your expiration date. And then the renewable is to expand for another 20 years. As part of the medium term, there is no proposed development, no replacement other than your standard replacement of other solar panels that are broken or your standard repairs. Agricultural impacts. So as of right now, there's no agricultural impacts as a result of the OPA, given the use is existing and any impacts would have already occurred. The existing and continued use does not limit the land from being used for a more traditional agricultural purposes in the future. A new farming operation could be established once the solar panels are decommissioned. There are existing farm uses on the site, which include sheep and llama pasturing and beekeeping. So essentially when the solar farm use ceases and is decommissioned, it will no longer be a permitted use. And then the site-specific rural designation proposed will switch to agricultural. Changes to the site. So as of right now, no site alteration, removal, replacement, etc. is proposed as part of this application. Other than your routine replacements. The significant replacement of the solar panels will happen once the long-term 2 program is in effect and their contract is approved, etc. After 2031. As part of the long-term 2 program, a municipal support resolution is required, which includes additional public consultation and First Nations consultation. And the medium-term extension does not include any formal replacement operations and will continue as it is today. We do just have some pictures of the llamas that are currently there and the sheep. And then the existing solar farm panels as well. And this is the existing site plan. Can I point or walk away from me? Okay, perfect. I think you can actually see it. Okay. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Okay, cool. All right. So as of right now, the existing, oh my goodness, it's so far away. Okay. Here we go. So this is where the driveway is. And right here in my very shaky circle, there is the existing building for operations, etc. Just maintenance where the staff stay during operation hours. Solar panels exist basically throughout this entire area and on this side of the creek as well. This area along the creek is identified as a provincially significant wetland, and no development will be within that area at all. And with that being said, just we recommend and hope that the council approve the OPA to allow for the property to operate the existing solar farm through a site-specific rural designation, as the NCOP does not permit the use. The OPA proposes to permit the use up until it is formally decommissioned, which will then change the designation to agricultural. I am here to answer any questions, and I also have Paul Ersting, who is a representative from PUI, to answer any operational or IESO questions that I may not be able to answer.
Okay, thank you very much. We will call on you when it's time. And I just, yes,
So, your worship, I'll just add to, in terms of agency comments, we received comments of no concern from Peterborough County Engineering and Construction, the City of Peterborough, Enbridge, Hydro One, Lakelands Public Health, and the Autonomy Region Conservation Authority.
thank you very much. And I understand that Jennifer Kleinsmith also has a presentation. Did mention.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Because we've had a fulsome presentation by Wells, I shortened my comments for the purpose of this meeting to our more typical process stuff. So as Per has gone through the application and the appeal rights, and Kate has detailed the project, I'm here to answer any questions specific to the why and wherefore of specific designations. But I did want to highlight the next steps in the process to sort of put a bow on the presentation end. Is the county is looking to council for recommendation on the official plan amendment. Once received, county staff will prepare a planning report for county council, which considers all relevant official plan and provincial policies, as well as any public and agency comments. When the county has made a decision, a notice of decision will be provided in accordance with the Planning Act, and that decision will be final if there are no appeals within the 20-day period. If any member of the public wishes to receive a notice of decision for this application, then a written request must be made to the county. So short and sweet for me today, but of course available to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Is there anyone else that is present that wishes to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone that wishes to speak against this application? And please go to the podium. Give us your name and address, please. You gotta do it, with Mike. And your address, please.
56 Lily Lake Road.
Okay, thank you.
So lots of times when you're driving up and down that road, the glare is phenomenal off those panels. One neighbor said, especially like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and even I'm at the far end up by the highway. And when the trees are like, there's no more leaves, you can see that far. So we're just recommending, we really don't want it any bigger or any longer. The other thing I had a question about, is noted, I don't think anybody in the road was ever notified that that farm was going to take place.
You're talking back in 2011?
Yes. Yeah. I've been there 42 years and I never got notified. I picked it up through reading the newspaper.
We appreciate that, Pear.
Yeah, through your worship, the original installation, while a process was initiated for municipal approvals for the site, the actual approval was finished through the Green Energy Act requirements, which circumvented municipal approvals.
Okay.
But I do believe that there was notice sent out because I was on council then and I remember a room full of people. So yeah, you might not have received it, but there were other people that were present for that.
I personally did never receive it. I've been there
Okay.
42 years.
Okay, I
Yeah.
won't dispute that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and is there someone else who is opposed to this? I understand that Janet Demelick is on the line. Would you like to make comments, please?
Sophia?
Yes, Sophia, yeah,
Okay, are you speaking on behalf of Janet?
yes.
Sorry.
Michael,
We need your, I'm sorry, we need your name and your address, please, ma'am.
it is Zofia Domalik. I live 373 Hillis Road. And I would like to talk about the rezoning.
Okay.
It is 424 for the making the rezoning from, because they used to be sand pit there, and now they like to rezoning for the concrete big concrete batch plant. And I'm strongly object to this because it will be very noisy. When I built there, they told me the sand pit is not active. It is no more sand. And I understand that is the residential area. It's not the industrial area. And it is no, the roads, they will be traffic, dust, noise. How about the wetland there? Nobody is protecting that anymore. You see how many.
Can I just interrupt for a moment, please,
Oh,
ma'am?
yeah.
I've got Robert Kelly, our manager of building and planning, who would like to say something.
Go ahead.
The application that this individual is speaking to is for 424 Ellis Road.
Yes.
It's not on our agenda for today.
Okay.
Oh, but you send me the letter will be.
Here.
Through your worship, the letter that was sent out for 424 Hillis Road was a notice of complete application. There is no public meeting scheduled at present time for that location. Today's public meeting is for 394.
394, okay, so
Polar Farm.
Yeah.
I will review my letter, but I would like to be informed about what's going on about the proposal and rezoning, because we getting very affected, and nobody should allow to build them, because we find a place out in the country to retire, and now they want to build this big plant. If I knew, I would never build there. So I would like to know, so what's going on with that proposal? So I hope you're going to inform me.
Okay, we'll be sure to do that. Thank you very much.
Okay, and everybody from the street, they send the letters and.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I drop the letters too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else that is opposed to this application? Seeing none, I will now bring it to council. Any questions from council? Right. Deputy Mayor.
Your worship, thanks for the presentation. Just a couple of questions. Barry, you had mentioned in your preamble that IESO doesn't support new or renewed development on ag. So even renewals, when they know that the operation's already there, they don't support it.
Through your worship. So that is my understanding. As you may be aware from some previous battery energy storage applications, there's a process through IESO for municipal support resolutions that those come forward to council. One of those forms that's submitted is for us to fill in what the land use designation for the property is. And my understanding is if we fill in prime agricultural with the passing of the new official plan, that the province and the IESO will not support continued use of a property for a solar farm if it's in prime agricultural lands.
Wow, that's a significant investment, sort through your worship. I mean, that's a significant investment in that project in the last 15 years to have it not supported down the road when it's already existing is challenging for me to understand. Just a question for PUS folks. You're talking about replacing, if you get the longer term one, replacing the solar panels. Does PUS have a Buy Canada procurement policy for those panels?
Would you go to the microphone and identify yourself, please, sir?
Well, good afternoon, your worship and members of council. So my name is Paul Ernsting, Peterborough Utilities Project Manager. And yes, it is my pleasure to answer to your question. So currently right now, when we take a look at the redevelopment programs or new programs, the Ontario government currently does have a domestic content type supply where the way that it works is if as a company, you can say you're going to procure a certain percentage target of Canadian goods, then that will provide you rated criteria points, which during the procurement process, what that helps do is reduce or lower your bid price to make it more attractive. So what they're looking for here is projects that certainly do support domestic content. It is the same reason why they have municipal support resolutions in place as well at the application stage, specifically to make sure we have good projects invested here in communities that support it. So a little bit also further to Pear's question or Pear's response with the ISO. When they take a look at redevelopment programs, redevelopment contracts are essentially taking old equipment and putting in new equipment. They therefore consider that kind of a new development, even though it is an existing land use. And so that is their approach on that one. Yeah. Anything further while I'm up here?
Don't know, Councillor Henry.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Senates. My question is for Kate, but possibly you could answer that as we're talking about upgrades or replacement of the equipment that's there in response to a query here or concern regarding the glare. Is that something that is changing as new panels are being developed, that they don't reflect as much?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So the original panels that were installed at Lily Lake in 2011 were a product called a thin film cell panel, which has more of that reflective surface. The panels that probably council is more familiar with in the public are the polycrystalline panels, which do not have the same kind of reflective glare. So that would change quite a bit. And so I would suspect, once we look at the redevelopment and new products, that glare issue would change based on the different technologies that are now available.
Thank you. Just follow up then. And what would the timeline look like then for residents of the area facing the glare?
Yeah, so the way the process works right now is our contract, the RESOP contract currently ends 2031. The ISO, in their effort to gain best value for the ratepayers, is asking for those existing contracts to enter a medium-term contract, which is another 5-year extension of that, basically using the same equipment. So to Kate's point, we're not looking at doing any major refurbishment. At the end of that medium-term contract, then we would then be eligible for a long-term 2 contract, which is then when we would take a look at replacing the panels. The very earliest we could start doing that is 3 years into the medium-term contract. So it'll be a while yet, and there will be plenty of consultation and opportunities to provide your feedback on the design of any redevelopment. Both in terms of looking at the municipal support resolution, as well as any environmental approvals that we would go through for a redevelopment.
And in the meantime, they might even get better product. Right? Better than what it is today.
Much can change. Much can change, absolutely.
All right, are there any other questions? See none, I'm someone to the recommendation. Councilor Clueless, seconded by Deputy Mayor Black, all in favor, that is carried. Thank you very much. Here, we will move on to the next application, which is for 724 Central Line.
Sorry, excuse me, Per. Do you have your mic on?
Sorry, I don't. You want me to repeat?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Gotta press that button. Sorry about that. So the application, then the next one is for 724 Center Line. It's a joint public meeting again with the county for an official plan amendment and zoning amendment. This again is 724 Center Line to convert an existing single detached dwelling accessory to the principal use of the property, which is a music recording studio from a former church. The applicant is looking to convert the residence to a duplex, but due to site-specific official plan policy and zoning, it's not permitted. So therefore, the official plan amendment and zoning amendments are needed. I find that the application meets the is consistent with the provincial planning statement and conforms with the county official plan. I recommend that the official plan amendment is supported and that the zoning amendment is approved. We have comments of no concern from Lakelands Public Health, the Otonabee Region Conservation Authority, County of Peterborough Engineering and Construction, Hiawatha First Nation, and Enbridge. And I'd be happy to take any questions on that one.
All right, thank you very much. Jennifer, is there anything you wish to add to this application?
Yes, thank you through you. I'll add some more detail that's more typical of what I offer up for a public meeting. This application has been assigned file number 15 OP 26005 and is located for lands at 724 Center Line. Lot 18, concession 4, Smith Board in Selwyn, and the application was received on May 28th. 2026 by the owner, Kate Hagerty. The Planning Act requires at least one public meeting for OP amendments to provide the public with information on the proposal and to submit public input, which is what this is. As noted by Per and in his report, the lands are designated agriculture in the local component of the OP and also have a site-specific special policy area that allows for a rental music hall, an administrative office, and an accessory dwelling unit. Typically within the ag designation, permitted uses include agriculture, farm-related activities, and forestry. The subject property being 0.38 hectares has been used as a non-agricultural use since approximately 1872 when the former Fairview United Church was constructed on the property. Surrounded properties include agriculture and rural residential uses. In 2021, an OPA and a zoning bylaw amendment were approved to permit the conversion from the church to its current uses of the rental music hall, converting the rectory office to an admin office and converting the education center to a single accessory dwelling unit. And so it's that site-specific policy that was approved in 2021 that is proposed to be amended from a single accessory residential unit to a duplex unit. I won't repeat all the agency comments that were received, and I'll hop over to the process part. So the county is again looking to Township Council for recommendation on the OPA. Once received, county staff will prepare a planning report for County Council, which considers all relevant official plan and provincial policies, as well as public and agency comments. When County Council has made a decision, a notice of decision will be provided in accordance with the Planning Act, and that decision will be final if there are no appeals within the 20-day period. If any member of the public wishes to receive a notice of decision for this application, then a written request must be made to the county. And so those are my comments for you today. As always, I am here and available to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else here that is in favor of this application? Is there anyone that is opposed to this application? Being none, I'll bring it to council. Any questions? I think it's great. We end up having an additional dwelling. So we have Councillor Henry's going to move the recommendation, seconded by Councillor Boyko. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Now move on to 1565, the 8th line.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the button is on this time. So our final public meeting today is for 1565 8th line. This is a zoning bylaw amendment to permit the use of a building on that property as a contractor's yard. Unfortunately, our rural industrial zone does not have a built-in permission for this, and the potential owner for the property, I believe there's a process underway to purchase the property from WJ Canada. I think we have a representative here from WJ. So we're looking forward to processing that application. I find that the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement and it conforms to the county official plan. We have comments of no concern from engineering and construction, County of Peterborough, Enbridge, Hydro One, Kawartha Pine Ridge District School Board, and the Autonomy Region Conservation Authority. And once again, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take those. And again, DM Wills is here to make presentation on this application.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Steele, would you like to take the microphone again?
Good afternoon again. Through you, Madam Mayor, thank you. Once again, I am Kate Steele, a junior planner at DM Wills, and we'll be providing an overview of the project here. So the subject property is located at 1565 8th line, just a little down the road from here. It is located on the south side of the 8th line, between here and Lakefield. The lot area is just under a hectare with frontage of approximately 60 meters. It is overall in an industrial area with surrounding industrial uses to the north and east, with some rural forested areas and a provincially significant wetland to the back of the property. Just a little bit about WJ Canada operations and who they are as a company. WJ is a water management firm. Specializing in groundwater control, dewatering, and water treatment to facilitate construction of private and public projects. This property is currently in the process of being purchased by our client, WJ Canada, who will operate their business within the existing building. They currently operate out of the GTA and have since 2016. This business is primarily operate within the warehouse and then outdoor storage to the rear of the building for larger vehicles and other business equipment. The existing development also provides some office space and lunchroom kitchenette facilities for their staff members. Overall, they'll have about 12 staff on site during operation hours, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 type operation hours. The existing development, so it is currently developed in the form of a 1,115 square meter industrial warehouse with the associated parking, There's grass and landscaped areas along the lot lines and surrounding. There's currently 39 parking spaces on the property, which includes 3 barrier-free and 3 loading spaces, type A and B included. There is a neighboring provincially significant wetland to the rear of the property, as I previously mentioned. There's a historically serviced by dug well. However, it is now serviced by a drill well as part of this application, which where we did a hydrogeological study. It is also serviced by a private individual septic system as well. So the purpose of the application ultimately is to permit the contractor's yard and some open storage on the property. As I previously mentioned, it'll operate within the existing warehouse. No site alteration is proposed, as the operation will just simply move into the warehouse, utilize the existing features. The parking, all of it is meet zoning and is ready to go, other than it not being a permitted use. Also, additional development includes the installation of a water station, a washing station. That's the only change, is that WJ requires a washing station for their vehicles. Right point. Let's try this again. So the existing building, okay, is here. It will remain. So the entrance is coming in along here. We have parking to the top and to the sides here. The 3 accessible parking spaces are here. The 3 loading are here. This gray block is the outdoor storage. And this is the individual septic system. And the drill well is right here. The provincially significant wetland is this dotted area to the back. And the stormwater management of the property will is graded down so that it'll come across here and to the this property line across here. Just a little bit more on the technical studies that was completed as part of the zoning bylaw amendment. So a hydrogeological assessment was required to ensure that the site was serviceable. Basically, the zoning didn't permit the contractor's yard and only permits dry industrial uses, which didn't include a contractor's yard. Overall, the Hydro-G was supportive of the contractor's yard, as the results of the Hydro-G actually exceeded the minimum requirement based on a contractor's yard and what the typical usage was. The use also maintains the dry industrial nature, considering that there's only really office space and kitchenette usage other than the washing station. But overall, the use is supported by the Hydro-G. An addendum to the environmental impact assessment and restoration plan was required as part of the zoning bylaw amendment. Basically, the addendum concluded that it was consistent with the previous EIS and restoration plan that was submitted as part of a previous application. The only update was that to ensure that the mitigation measures were maintained as part of the restoration plan, was that a fence would be allocated along the rear of the property against the provincially significant wetland to prevent encroachment. Further, the stormwater management brief determined that the new use was supported and a wash station would impact the swim on site. So then the stormwater management control is achieved by being conveyed to the basically to the west of the property and down through its existing stormwater management measures. Overall, the technical studies are supportive of the use. These are just some existing site pictures that I took. The one on the left shows the existing parking and the one in the middle as well. And then the final picture shows the rear of the property towards the provincially significant wetland and where the proposed fence will go. And further that, council approved the zoning bylaw amendment to permit the contractor's yard and associated open storage on the property. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of the application? Is there anyone to speak against the application? Seeing none, we will bring it to council. Any questions?
Thank you, Mayor Senes. Just confirm then that the vehicle washing station will be utilizing stormwater drainage, not going out into the wetland. And follow up, is the sale of this property contingent on this amendment or has it already been purchased, just for clarity?
It's in the process of being purchased.
And the answer about the stormwater.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Black.
To you, Mayor Senes, thanks for the presentation. 39 parking spots, how is that calculated based on the prior business, I assume, but seems like an awful lot of space required for parking.
Through your worship. So it's calculated in accordance with the table for parking requirements in the township zoning bylaw. So it's based on the use and the square footage.
So does that change the required parking lot numbers based on proposed business?
It'd be under the same industrial category under the parking requirement. So it'd end up being the same building, no change to square footage. So the calculation would remain the same. Yeah.
Thank you.
Questions, Councillor Cool's.
Thank you for you. I'm just looking on the county GIS and I do recognize the PSW with potentially significant wetland does match your map, but the map from the county shows that there are other wetlands or wet areas. And so I'm just wondering, because the storm water goes along the property line, like how that's going to impact the other property owner and that looks like a wetland. I'm sure. I'm trying to figure it out with the layer.
Can
Would like
answer
to-
that.
I can share my screen though.
Here.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite catch that.
So on the county's GIS, Let Me Map 2.0, you can see the significant wetland is, you open the layers, is directly behind it. It matches their, all the site plan, all that jazz. But it shows that there's other wetland beside it. And I don't know if it's just like a natural heritage piece or if it's just identifying a higher water level, like it's not clear what it is, but it goes over top of the property. And so my question here is with the stormwater drainage going along the west and hitting the other property, how is that going to impact that vegetation or that type of wet?
Yeah, so I'll through your worship, I'll caution a bit on the GIS. So that's what the site specific reports and studies verify regarding the impact of the features on the GIS, because they're not always accurate. I'm not really sure what feature you're talking about without looking at the GIS, but the site specific reports and plans would have identified any concerns or constraints accordingly.
Councillor Henry.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Senes. I definitely understand Councillor Koulis's concerns here. This is the 8th line. It has become, if anything, one of our 2 industrial areas that we're developing. If I look on the other side of the GIS, oh, there's a landfill site. Okay. And we know how fruitful in the world. Quite frankly, I'm really happy to see that this deal is going through and that this property is being actioned to be used in our area, creating jobs, creating economic stability. And
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Deputy Mayor Black. I too am happy to see this coming into the township. Sorry to see an old one go, but these things happen. And I know a couple of people who are going to be raising the glass tonight finally. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. All right. We are now going to, I need a motion. No, before we do that, I've got a couple of bylaws to pass.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, 63, which is zoning bylaw amendment for 724 Center Line, and 64, the zoning bylaw amendment for 1565 8th Line.
Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Boyko, all in favor, that is carried, thank you. Now I need a motion to go into closed. Councillor Koulis is moving, Deputy Mayor Black seconding, all in favor, that is carried. We will reconvene in the other room 3 minutes.